Hello, Mr. Breton again. It is Friday, and as you remember, this week we have been reading about weather. Today will be our final reading from the book called Weather, and the first thing we'll talk about is tropical climates. Parts of the tropics near the equator have a hot, damp climate. Because the temperatures change very little, the seasons hardly vary. Cocoa, rubber, and tropical fruits such as bananas and coconuts, thrive there. So do rainforests rich in wildlife such as monkeys, snakes, and colorful birds and butterflies. But not all places in the tropic are like this. Mountainous regions, where coffee and tea are grown, have cooler climates. Also, not far from the equator, there are monsoon lands, which have 2 seasons a year. During part of the year, when the winds blow out of the sea, the weather is warm and dry. Then the winds reverse direction, and for weeks or months, there is heavy rain. Monsoon lands are found in Asia, Africa, and South America. Many of them have savannas, or vast flat grasslands. In places, the grass can be twice as tall as a man. The African savannas have a great variety of wildlife, including lions, giraffes, and elephants. Large herds of zebra and antelopes roam these wide open plains. Beyond the monsoon lands, vegetation becomes sparser, and at the edges of the tropics, there are hot, dry deserts. So, this is a tropical forest. Now let's read about hot deserts. Hot deserts cover almost a third of the world's land, stretching across parts of Africa, Arabia, North and South America, India, and Australia. In the daytime, it is so hot that you could fry eggs on a rock. Ooh, that sounds not good. But winter nights can be frosty, for after dark the heat quickly vanishes into the cloudless sky. To scientists, a desert is an area where the average rainfall is less than 10 inches per year. Droughts, periods without rain, can last for months or years. Parts of Chile, Atacama Desert, actually stayed dry for 400 years until rain fell in 1971. Desert plants and animals have ways of coping with the hot, dry climate. Cacti store water in fat, juicy stems. Mice and lizards lick dew from the pebbles. Many animals burrow down in the day to escape from the sun. When forests are destroyed or land is misused, the soil dries up and can turn into a desert. The Sahara, the world's biggest desert, is steadily spreading southward in Australia. 10 million acres of farmland are rapidly turning into dust. If deserts continue to spread at that present rate, by the end of the century, they will have swallowed up a third of the land where crops used to grow. The desert right there with a camel. So temperate climates, cold air from the poles and warm air from the tropics fight over much of North America and Europe, and over southern parts of Australia and South America. This weather war produces climates that are temperate, neither burning hot nor freezing cold. The British Isles, many European countries, New Zealand, and much of the western North America have cool temperature climates. Both deciduous trees that shed their leaves every year, and evergreens grow there. The cool climate is suitable for many kinds of crops and is particularly good for dairy farming. Since they are nearer to the tropics, Southern California and the Mediterranean countries enjoy warm temperatures of climate with mild winters and warm summers. Grapes, peaches, and oranges are grown in California and around the Mediterranean, as there are plenty of sun to ripen the fruit. Living closer to the North Pole, people in Scandinavia and north of Canada have to put up with short summers and long snowy winters. Those northern lands have forests for fir trees and other conifers that can stand the cold. The central plains of North America and Russia have hotter summers. Much of the land there is used for growing wheat. And the last chapter we'll read here is life at the poles, so North and South Pole. Toes and fingers can freeze and drop off in the world's coldest climates. The Arctic and Antarctica, the regions around the North and South Poles, are the coldest places on Earth. In winter, a blanket of ice smothers the entire Arctic Ocean. Ice sheets, in places almost 2.5 miles thick, cover the continent of Antarctica all year. Polar regions are so cold because they get little warmth from the sun. At the poles, the sun only peeps over the skyline for half the year. During the rest of the year, it is never seen, so it's dark a lot. Even in the summer, the sun's rays are too weak to melt much of the ice. The wildlife of the Arctic includes polar bears and white-coated foxes. Various birds and mammals breed through the summer, and hundreds of small plants burst into color when the snow thaws in the spring. And in Antarctica, seals and penguins live on the coast, but apart from certain mosses and insects, hardly anything can survive inland. Oil workers, hunters, and fishermen live in the Arctic, but only scientists stay long on frozen Antarctica. See, it's cold, and you got the polar bear, and then there's the penguin. I hope you enjoyed this book, which we read for the last 4 days on weather. Look forward to reading to you again next week. You have a great weekend. Thank you.